What's up, guys? I hope you guys are ready for another round and ready to rumble with electrocardiography yet again. What I want to look at today is going to be waveforms and identifying just the common waves that you see on an EKG, what you'll be running into day to day. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up my marker here. And as you make your way from left to right, you notice that there's a lot of bumps and a lot of spikes going on. Okay, each of those are going to be waves. We have a particular wave there, and he tells us a certain thing. You have a particular wave there, and he tells us a certain thing. Okay, oops, right there. You have another particular wave there, and there, and there. All right, you have all of these waves being presented to you, and each and every single one of them actually has some importance to this. And let's go ahead and try to identify some. Okay, so first thing is I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to focus. We're going to camp out on this first complex of waves here. Okay, so what we're going to have first, starting off the cardiac cycle, and what you as the nurse, as the interpreter of this strip, as the MA, as the exercise physiologist, wherever you're at, should always, I recommend you always look at this P wave. Okay, this little wave is going to kick off the cardiac cycle. All right, what the P wave represents is atrial depolarization. All right, what does that mean? It means that the signal is being sent, sparked from the SA node, being sent through and preparing the top chambers to contract. Okay, that's what depolarization means. Like, we're about ready to contract. Do not think that it's actual contraction. No. Okay, it's not the contraction. This is just the electrical part. But this is the electrical depolarization, the electrical preparation of the atria. In essence, it means atrial depolarization. So I'll put it just like this. Atrial depolarization. All right? That's my first wave. It kicks off everything, both electrical and mechanical cycles. Now, as we make our way to the left, we see this little guy right there. That little guy is a Q wave. Watch him over here. Okay? This Q wave is going to be the first wave in a set of three, telling us that the signal is now in the ventricles and depolarizing the ventricles. Okay, so let me label it first. You have the Q. Up here, this big old guy, this is an R wave, and he's typically the biggest. Most of the time you'll see him as the biggest wave, okay? But he is my R wave, so I'll label him like that. And then I'm going to make my way down here, and this R wave then becomes a negative S wave, okay? These three, the Q, the R, and the S waves, are going to form the Qrs complex. Okay, we basically just kind of bring them together, and the reason why is because there's no segment between them. If you remember back to our segment video, the segment is a line between waveforms, so that would be a segment, and this P wave and the Q wave have a segment in between them, which is why we separate them. But the QRS does not have a flat line in between them, so we just basically bring them together and form a large complex. Okay? What the QRS is going to tell us, I'm actually going to move this to the side. What the QRS is going to tell us is ventricular depolarization. Okay? Again, we have the word depolarization, and I want you guys to think of preparing the chambers, in this case the ventricles, to contract. They're not contracting, they're preparing to contract. Okay, that's what the QRS complex means. It means ventricular depolarization. All right, now the last wave. Okay, the last wave in here, well, actually not the last wave, we have one more to go, is going to be this guy. This is my T wave. Okay, you see him there, you see him right here. This is my T wave, and he pretty much kind of closes us out as far as one complete cardiac cycle. And what I mean by that is that instead of a wave that signifies depolarization, DE, depolarization. The T wave represents ventricular repolarization. All right, let me write it down first. So this is actually going to represent ventricular repolarization. Okay, so we're in the ventricles, hence ventricular. Repolarization now means that we are resetting. We're trying to go back and get ready for another excitation of electricity passing through. So repolarization is where we are starting to reset this chamber to contract again. So this resetting has to happen so that that next P wave goes on, sends it through the atria. Then we go into the ventricular depolarization and then the ventricular repolarization. So this is happening again and again. Okay? So this is my, starting from the beginning, this is my P wave. This is my Qrs complex, and then my T wave. My P wave means atrial depolarization. I'm preparing those chambers, the atria, to contract in a little bit. My QR and S complex are ventricular depolarization, so I'm preparing the ventricles to contract in a little bit. And my T wave means ventricular repolarization. Okay, so I'm preparing, or I'm resetting the ventricles to get ready for another cardiac cycle that will happen soon, as we see it right there. Okay, so those are my basic waves. You have the P, the Q, the R, the S, and the T wave. I did want to show you guys one more, and I pulled this guy from off the net. Okay, let me see where he's at. He's not there. Okay, there he is. Alright, so sorry, I had to pop him up. Let me go ahead and zoom in. So this is the last wave, okay? This one might be a simulated rhythm, okay? But I just wanted to show you guys, for the sake of the demo here, I want to show you guys what it looks like. So again, let's go back. Where's my P wave? My P wave is the first. My Q wave is actually not present there, but if he was, he'd be right here, okay? My R, my S, and my T. The last wave I want to show you guys is going to be this guy right here. This is my U wave, okay? This is a very uncommon wave to get. As a matter of fact, this is a common question on certification tests, okay? A very uncommon wave is the U wave, and what this guy is telling us, or when he's present, it usually means that you have some type of electrolyte deficiency, more specifically hypokalemia. Okay, so he shows up, the U wave will show up in cases of hypokalemia. Alright, so when do you see him most often? Well, hypokalemia, low potassium levels, which may result in a slower heart rate. Okay, so if the patient has a slower heart rate, you're probably going to see it. And I'm talking heart rates in the low 50s and the 40s that are pathophysiological in origin. Okay, so slower heart rates. Okay, so that is my U wave. That's the last wave I wanted to show you guys. Remember, you have the P, Q, R, S, and T, and the U wave in there. Okay, have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.